my god. Well, first day back after a nice Monday off, and a few things have happened here. So I don't know if I'm going to discuss them in great detail, but EA actually released content on my day off. So we'll talk about that Theo Walcott flashback card. A lot of people very excited about the Theo Walcott card. I've got some thoughts on that. Obviously, thank you so much for the support on the videos over the weekend. Us hitting elite on this account. Things are turning a corner. The comment section, I feel, at least on the rich man account, are a bit more supportive now. I think people are coming to terms with the differences between the poor man is, a strict 2-hour day, no FIFA point, ultra grind, ultra stress, ultra hard series. And then the rich man account is obviously a ball-in account where we do whatever we want and try and achieve what we achieved this past weekend, getting elite, trying to get better in gameplay, figuring out what works, what styles of play work, and then also having these like long-form discussions about any content that EA comes out with, because I do want to use this rich man account for a multitude of things, not just endless gameplay with the big squad, although that will be a theme. It will be like a review of the content that EA released. Apparently they did something to my account, so they're giving me something, which is pretty fire. Unclaimed seasons rewards. Okay, so let's check out the fire content that they're going to be giving us here. What happened? I mean, I don't really care if I get anything on this account. So what did they give me? Bronze reward pack, rare, gold. Yo, this is... No way. That is the most EA Sports thing I've ever seen. One rare includes... Wait, their reward packs for screwing people's accounts over is a rare gold player? No, this has to be a joke. Hold on. I mean, obviously I'm going to get like a 75 rated pleb, right? There's 76 rated, like Berg or whatever. You know that that's what's going to happen. Well, so what is it going to be? Sweet, man. Well, welcome back from my day off, Nick2018. We screwed your account somehow, so here's a Tealman's. Thank you. I'm assuming he's untradeable too, guys, or is he is he tradable? Is he untradeable? Hold on a sec. No, he's tradable. Oh my god, I'm so grateful. I can sell him, guys. All right, well, whatever. I guess they tried, so fair play to them on that. But yeah, I wanted to talk a little bit in detail about the Walcott SBC, whether or not we get any content at 6 p.m. from UK from EA. We'll talk about that stuff as well. But that Walcott SBC, dudes, I've seen so many people justifying it. I know NEP really likes it as well. I think though, see, I really wish we didn't do the Poor Man Road to Glory ultra hard, where I didn't get pre-order packs. I didn't get anything on the Poor Man account, like basically no welcome back packs or anything. But this is what I'm saying, man. The Poor Man Road to Glory this year is well and truly a Poor Man Road to Glory. We just got a 90k value player. And I mean, well, Danilo Pereira or whatever as well. Yeah, that's tough, man. That's tough. I would have honestly, I would have considered fondling a few ZZs to get this on my Poor Man account, but whatever, that's fine. We're doing really, really good on the Poor Man Road to Glory, as I think you would have flash forward backwards into the past. You would have, or into the present, then about the past. I think you would have absolutely already seen that we're doing very well on the Poor Man Road to Glory. Nevertheless, the Walcott, in my opinion, on an account like this, or an account like NEP's, let's say, where you are just grinding the living Jesus out of the game, you're putting anywhere from 5 or 6 hours a day or 10 hours a day on weekends, whatever you do. If you've got an account like that, fine. I get it. You know, I still think it's probably best not to do the Theo Walcott, because I really, really believe you could use your coins way more intelligently. And I'm going to give you guys a strong example of how to do that, or I have given you a strong example of how to do that on the Poor Man Road to Glory account today. But nevertheless, I just think dropping 120,000 coins into an untradeable card, as I've said all year long, is not the smartest play in the world for a multitude of reasons. It just, and this is going to be the theme of my thoughts on basically all untradeable SBCs this year is you're just gonna go down an infinite untradeable hole, right? And that's what EA wants. Don't forget, we're trying to battle against the mechanisms that EA have in the game to kind of rinse you out of your coins and out of the value in your club. So if you want to make changes, you need to push towards FIFA points or opening packs or risking your coins on packs to try and get lucky, to get more coins, to get what you want, because you've rinsed 120,000 coins times infinity into untradables, right? That's absolutely the way the game is coded, and the way they've developed the game, especially now this year that we found out and figured out, or EA themselves have said, you don't get icon SBCs anymore, so you can't grind towards your favorite icons and smartly build those up through untradeable packs and this type of stuff that used to work last year. And League SBCs specifically, if those actually do go away, League SBCs, it's a straight up middle finger to everybody that's dedicated to playing this game in this community, because the only people that get negatively affected by League SBCs going away, it's not the hardcore guys like me on this account. I don't care. I can get whatever I want, however I want, whenever I want on this account through time, infinite time, because I can spend however long I want on this account, obviously, or infinite money if I want to be an absolute moron. So it doesn't affect the rich man. And alternatively, getting rid of League SBCs and stuff like that doesn't really affect the casuals too much too, because they're not going to sit there and grind through the League SBCs to try and turn a profit. Grinds the bronze pack method, grinds the silver upgrade method, then grind the League SBCs to then get, you know, untradeable high rated players that you use in other SBCs, and to get tradable packs that can make you really, really big profit. They're genuinely putting up a middle finger to just the grinders, their most loyal, hardcore users of the game. And that's disappointing, and just goes to show that really FIFA Ultimate Team, as none of us really should be surprised though, at the end of the day is all about the bottom line and all about making as much money off of the community that still is dedicated and loyal or casual to this game. So on that long explanation, I would say someone like Theo Walcott or someone like Robert Lewandowski, or even someone like Joseph Martinez are absolutely not worth the money. And there's some guys running limited time Road to Glories that have all three of these players done, because they just can't help themselves. They need to do any of the new content that comes out. So I would say don't do it. I'm not saying don't do tradable SBCs. Again, there's always going to be, what's that word? Not abnormalities, not abominations. Although the price of this SBC is an abomination. There's always going to be people that will want to do this. If you're an Everton fan, or you're building an England team, or you, whatever the case may be, you know, if you're one of the 3 Everton fans in the world, you know, Andy and I think Dirty Mike, and like maybe one other guy that might watch this content being an Everton fan. So you definitely can sit there and do this. I'm not saying don't do it, but you're going to be rinsing away valuable coins that you'll never get back, man. Like a Theo not even, as opposed to a Theo Walcott, a Raheem Sterling is about the same price. You can use them and then sell them later on when you want to build maybe a Bundesliga team, right? Or a Saint Maxim. I know he doesn't have the exact same shooting and the exact same pace and all of that type of stuff, but there's something to be said about a card that's like 10 to 20,000 coins. That's pretty much the same thing, especially if you put a proper chem style on Saint Maxim. 5-star skills, 4-star weak foot, actually better probably in game than a Theo Walcott. And then guess what? When you're done, and maybe you get pissed off in the weekend league because you just got smashed by some guy that's got a Bundesliga squad with Axel Witsel and Delaney in the midfield, you know, sitting there crab walking around defending with his DMs only with 10 players behind the box, and your 3-star, 120k Theo Walcott pisses you off. Well, guess what? Doesn't matter. You exit the game after a loss and you're stuck with this card. Whereas if you had that Saint Maxim and you got smashed, you sell them and you go use all of your liquid coins into building a new team. That's another thing I don't like, what people say to me. Oh, you're so boring, telling everybody not to do this, not to do that. I'm trying to make you not boring. You're boring if you do this because you're stuck with this card. The difference is staying liquid is, at least if you think about it, the complete opposite of being boring. You will constantly have an infinite amount of coins, or a max amount of coins, hopefully, in your club once you cash out the tradable players, because you're liquid in your team, so all of your club, to then change things around. If a new Future Stars player comes out that's available on the market, guess what? You can cash out all the value in your club and go get him. But if you put your value into a Theo Walcott and then a Joseph Martinez and then, well, a Timo Pukki, because 40k or 50k is not a lot, Nick, it's really good. You know, or a Robert Lewandowski, it's only 190k, dude, and you get a few packs back, Nick. I get a few packs back. I get like 80K's worth of packs back, but we'll ignore the fact that 99% of the time, those 80K's worth of packs give you maybe like 5,000 or 7,000 coins back, right? So that's just my thoughts, all right? I'm not going to turn down every single SBC that comes out. There's definitely even SBCs here that I'm likely to say are worth it. Pookie's obviously one of those guys, but I just think, man, think twice about doing these, all right? It's early in the game. You don't need to get hyped up and just because it's got a few fadeaway things, shiny things on the card to get rid of the value in your club. This year, I really want to have you guys be able to max out the potential in your club for how much time you put into it. So if you put 2 hours a day into your club, I want to try and show you the way where you can absolutely max out the value of your club with that limited 2 hours a day, like we do on the Poor Man Road to Glory. But similarly, if you have 4 or 5 hours a day, I want to try and give you guys advice and thoughts on how to max out your clubs with 4 or 5 hours a day by not dumping things needlessly into untradables. And that goes back to the rewards, dudes. I know it's not easy to do, but I would highly recommend as well you stick to the tradable rewards, because what I'm also seeing from people's like, yeah, well, dude, I got like a bunch of untradables because I did 2-player upgrade packs and I got a Hummels, Nick. I spent 100,000 coins on upgrade packs and I got Hummels. So I dumped 100,000 coins into upgrade packs. Now I'm going to take a Hummels and put them into the Walcott. Then I'm going to have 120,000 coin untradeable Theo Walcott in my club. And then you just go down that infinite cycle of trying to tell yourself all the untradables in your club have been good value and whatever. So that's my thoughts on it, dudes. I think for today, we're going to grind out the content that EA hopefully give us at 6 p.m. I was thinking of doing a themed squad builder today, but because there's so much to talk about in terms of content, I think we're getting new stuff at 6 p.m. It's Tuesday, right? International break coming up, so maybe they surprise us with something. The fact that they still haven't done anything with season's objectives either is interesting. Like, it's kind of a bunch of resident sleeper, isn't it? Overall, outside of the random sporadic SBCs that they're dropping. So it's going to be very objectives based today, content based today as well, depending on what they drop as well at 6 p.m. But yeah, man, I hope what I'm saying to you guys does make sense. And I know it's going to piss off a lot of people, especially the people that have done every single one of the player SBCs. But going forward, just think about what we said there and see if that applies to you. You can see how many save you are in Rivals now. So there was a little update on PlayStation today. So that update allows you to see how much you have left in Rivals now. Current rank. Next rank. Why are you lying, you puta madre? Where? Where do you see that? Huh? Yo, what? Did I just get debated by an imbecile in my chat? What is that abomination talking about, dudes? Oh, that's my word of the day. Abomination. Yeah, man, another little thought here. OTWs is a rip, huh? Like, what did they do? What did they even do? That's another thing that I wanted to chit chat about with you guys, and looking at a lovely viewer squad that's got all these OTWs in there. What a rip. Like, I would honestly almost compare FUT20's One to Watch promo with last year's Scream promo. How dead and ass last year's Scream promo was. One to Watch's was the biggest failure ever. Content was dead. They didn't do anything in terms of season's objectives. They gave us an Ndombele and we're like, fist your mum. That's it. That's good. Cool. Couple of super overpriced SBCs in One to Watch, Saint Maxim. Even Promes, man. Promes is a baller, and I really regret not having completed him on the Poor Man account. Again, that's one thing like where maybe I'm taking my ultra stay liquid to the extreme. I think I need on the Poor Man account a super sub all year, and that Quincy Promes as a One to Watch being in the Eredivisie, he's gonna get informs. So I'm a little bit pissed that I didn't do him, and he's not available anymore, right? So I don't think I'd be able to do him, or maybe I did do him on the Poor Man account today because I convinced myself otherwise, but I think he's gone. So nevertheless, as the case may be, they bottled it. I think the One to Watches are just like the deadest promo they've done so far, and we're so early on in the year. Usually the first 2-3 months of content, outside of the anomaly That was last year's Scream promo, October, and they already screwed a promo last year. It's kind of worrying that this year, instead of improving on the promos and stuff like that, they did it one step worse. And their launch day promo was the worst thing ever. So maybe they're doing all of this terrible content or lazy content, because some of it's all right, but it's lazy and they're not putting the effort in. They're not even matching what they did last year, I think, which is what my biggest concern is with the content so far. Like, they set expectations. Fortnite, all the other companies out there doing daily content year in, year out, you know, just going nuts with what their community want and trying their best. And EA launch a new game, and not only do they improve on the content that they did the previous year in FIFA 19, but they make it worse. Because you know why? Sorry, Swedish, you're gonna hate me for this. Because f you and f me. That's it, buddies! F you and f me, that's why. Oh my god, no, NEP. NEP, wait, whoa. Since we're talking about, oh my god, dude. Okay, I'm gonna read NEP's thread, and we're all gonna discuss NEP's thread together as a family, okay? Because NEP's my dad, and NEP's everybody's dad, and we should all be taking very seriously what Nepenthes has to say about FIFA, okay? So, yeah, this, but we're definitely, oh my god, NEP. Oh, okay, here we go. 1 minute. How does he write that fast? That was a minute ago. Whoa! Yo, NEP's word per minute's got to be in the thousands. Okay, so this is going to be a thread. Apologies if it blows up your timeline. Milestones need to be a place of greatness. Just one idea I have to replace League SBCs, if indeed they're going, is League milestones. Right now we have squad battles, champs, rivals. So imagine they have a tab for every league in the game. And when you open the tab, there are 3 objectives for each team. So you enter Premier League, and it has AFC Born. I know already. Me and NEP, same wavelength. We're basically twins. I know exactly where he's going with this, and I'm already fully erect. So let's continue. AFC Bournemouth 1, AFC Bournemouth 2, AFC Bournemouth 3. And then, of course, in turn, the same for all the other 19 teams. The way it would work is to complete the first segment. It's 10 wins, rivals, or champs using 18 Bournemouth players in your starting 11 and subs. Lord help us all. But I love it. I love it. If only it was like in a league objective setting or something like that, as opposed to in rivals and champs. But still, we're working with what EA have given us, so this is probably the best we can do in terms of where you can do these achievements. And the reward is a small untradeable pack, 25k or something. Probably should be an untradeable Bournemouth player, you know? Like, the best Bournemouth player, or a random Bournemouth player that is 80, that gets made 84 rated. Right? So now I'm just taking what NEP's saying, and we're adding and tacking onto it. Wouldn't that be awesome? Wouldn't that be awesome? You do that, and then you get an 84 rated aqua blue whatever special card Nathan Ake. I'm sorry? I would do that. And then imagine at some point, okay, I'm going to keep reading anyways. I'll let him finish. But imagine at some point, the idea and how good NEP comes up with this stuff is, imagine at some point coming up in FUT Champs against a league objectives based squad. No, I don't mean like the Bournemouth team. I mean like there's a blue league objective 84 Ake, a blue 88 rated Marcus Rashford. Bro, you would look at that and be like, whoa, this guy put so much time into the game and has played champs and rivals with a full Man United team. God help him. Probably lost like 98 games before he won 10. You know, that would be amazing. Oh, he says exactly what I'm saying? You see? I am him and he and me and we are you. Okay, let's move on. Win 50 games with the full Bournemouth 18. Oh, yes. For an untradeable 50k pack. And then for the final segment, win 100 games with the full Bournemouth 18, but instead of a pack, you get a League SBCS player pick. 5 players to pick from: goalkeeper, defense, mid, attack, and 1 flex. There you go. From Bournemouth, I'm assuming, right? Is that what he was getting at? But have us like a 90 to 95 rated card. None of this 86 crap. That needs to be endgame, because to complete just the EPL, you'll need to win 2,000 games with full club teams to earn all 20 players. Now imagine not only this with every team for every league. This is too good for EA. This right here is too good for EA to do. It's too good for EA. And you know what's so bad is because people will look at this idea and be like, nah, it's too many games. I don't want that. If you think like that, you're dumb, stupid, shut your face, and never post on the internet ever. Thank you. Moving on. Leagues, if EA, okay, you'll need to win 2,000 games with full club teams to earn all 20 players. Now imagine, not only this, with every team for every league. Even if EA don't want to lay out that kind of groundwork, then getting a completion player for doing the entire league. So after you've won 100 games with each of the 20 Prem teams you complete, Premier League milestones, and get awarded a player pick with 5 times players that are 97 and 98 rated. You might think that's nuts, but you need 2,000 wins online only with club teams. You're missing such a trick with milestones and seasons objectives, and it's pretty much, with friendlies, the only new feature in FUT. Thoughts? Those are my thoughts. Guys, calm down. Oh my god. Oh my god, my Twitch chat makes me want to rip my cock off. I wish, because I know this is going to make YouTube, I wish YouTube, anytime my chat loses their mind, I wish I could just have something that pops up that just shows my chat losing their mind. That would be the greatest thing ever. Because then YouTube eventually, as time progresses, would be like, okay, now I understand why sometimes it seems like Nick has anger management issues and Tourette's all at the same time, because he just lashes out at his viewers. It would be great, because then YouTube and the rest of the world would be like, oh my god, dude. Anything he says, people lose their mind. Even though they know exactly what he's saying and what he's trying to say, they lose their mind. God. We need to go that next stage. I need to have a button that just switches to the... I bet you anything I could do that. I need to have a button that instantly switches to a zoom in of my chat. Oh my god. Now we're living in 2050. Only elites with that team. Suck your mum. How about suck your mum? Guaranteed you could use this team and you wouldn't even finish gold 1, brother. It's the truth. It's the truth and you know it. Because based off of tweets and messages in people's chats like that, you're the type of guy that uses your Premier League team on amateur squad battles and then tweets people, look at my Rashford's goal to game ratio, 10 games and 39 goals. Only in champs. Yeah. Yeah, dude. Anybody that writes talk like that, like, dude, I couldn't believe the hate that Kurt was getting, because Kurt spent like, I think 300,000 or 400,000 FIFA points on the game this year, right? Which is a ton of money to get his beastly team, you know, and he got 26 wins on stream. That's insane. And his whole chat was fraud this and that and whatever. Oh my god, how are you not top 100 with that team and what? All these nerd morons that are sitting there hating genuinely one of the best players in the game. Kurt, if you watch Kurt on the sticks, and please don't be abusive towards content creators in the chat. JK, you should know better. If you watch Kurt on the sticks and his footballing brain, the guy is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Not to mention, he's very entertaining. You know, while he plays the game. I gotta give him credit where it's due. Same thing with Tex. Both those two guys are ballers, man. And it kind of is surprising to me too, because Tex and I think Kurt are both of the more disliked pros for EA. So I kind of have that, like, they're my boys, you know? Because, like, I feel like me and NEP and Run the FUT Market are kind of like the disliked content creators by EA. So I've got like any pro that speaks his mind and like grinds it out and is a baller. I want to hold them and love them, because obviously we're in the same boat while not being in the same boat, if that makes sense to you guys. Nevertheless, the fact that people will post that in my channel or in Kurt or in Tex's channel, Tex will lose like 1 game in 50. And then his chat is like, oh my god, you're a fraud, you have that team and you lost. So if you write that in their channel, right? Or you write that in my channel, go f yourself. Simple. An idea of having a League SBC set but it being transferred into season's objectives where you are forced to squad build a full squad from the team and you win games with that squad and then unlock a pack, I think a player. I honestly think even after 10 wins, you should unlock, like, okay, if we're talking in increments, 10 wins with a Bournemouth team unlocks you a 5-player pick, or even a 3-player pick of 82 rated players. So an 82 rated Bournemouth left back, I can't think off of the top of my head, an 82 rated Lewis Cook, whatever, an 82 rated, you know, one of their strikers, right? That's 10 games. 25 games, or let's say even 50 games. I would say 25 and 50. 25 wins in rivals or champs with that Bournemouth squad. And again, you can do it with Bournemouth squad. Maybe if they have a dog team, maybe at the end of the year with objectives, with informs, with other man of the match cards, maybe they get a better team through time.
Love you,
right?
Chat.
So you don't have to, the best part about a League SBC objective style like that, you don't have to do it all right away. You could do the objective like with a Man U team first if you wanted to, right? It's a bad idea. No, it's not a bad idea. Drodba, as I said, maybe doing it in rivals and champs is hard. So having it again, thought process, maybe EA make a section, an objective section, like I came up with a long video last year about what they should do and they still haven't done anything like that. You could put it in an objective section. So they'll have in the objectives game mode, just like there is a FUT draft game mode, whatever, there could be a section in the objectives game mode where it's SBC milestones. So it's not difficult. The only objective is you can only go into a game with a full squad, like a full 18 starting 11 of one team. So you might be trying to do it with Man United. Someone else could be trying to do it with Real Madrid. Someone else could be trying to do it with Chelsea, whatever the case may be. That would be fantastic. I know it would absolutely change something. What are you talking about? The f are you talking about? It wouldn't change anything. The problem with it being in rivals and look at this, in rivals and in champs is you're going to face my team with your Bournemouth squad and you're going to get smashed. So, but if you do it in objectives, realistically, you might face my team with Messi and Barcelona, or you might face my team. Thank you, BB. Yeah, thank you so much. Or you might face my team with, you know, Ronaldo and Juve, but you're not facing a full psychotic, insanely good team, right? So that's the downside with NEP's idea. It's not NEP's idea that's bad, which again, people that don't want to put any thought process into anything and just want to shoot down ideas, the same type of people that will complain about everything but never come up with anything themselves, those are the type of people that I always disagree with, because NEP's idea or that concept is very good. The only adjustment I would make is have an objectives game mode where you go do that type of stuff. Any of the objectives they release, any of the season's milestones, well, maybe, you know, that squad battle and like that has to be within squad battles, but you know what I mean? Any of the daily objectives, any of the weekly objectives, any of the one to watch objectives, you play it within the objectives mode. So you're playing against people that are also trying to do the objective. You're not playing against someone that's got my squad in rivals. But I've been saying that for years. And they're never going to do that. Because why, guys? Why are they never going to do that and make an objectives game mode? Why would they not do that, guys? Because you and me.
The waiting is over.
You're welcome. Dare I say that the day one patch this game, just like at FIFA 18, the day one patch reintroduced ultra AI defending, drop back tactics, AI defenders lunging into the way to make outrageous blocks, reintroduced you hitting the post 1,000 times a game, reintroduced the fact that it's near impossible now to score one-on-one, reintroduced the fact that you cannot burn people for pace anymore. May I remind you that early access and pre-day one patch, if you beat someone for pace like I did with Messi, left his defenders in the dust, they didn't catch you. You actually got rewarded for beating someone and running in on net. But as you guys saw right there where Messi stutter stepped, like I ran in on net, I had like 15 yards of space and only like 30 yards to get to the goal. And in that time, in 1 second, his defender fully caught up to me and then started shoving me from behind so Messi couldn't even get a shot off. The day one patch, I hate to be that type of person because I know that makes people very angry, but it's screwed the game. It's screwed the game, man. Like, this game is still 1,000 times better than FIFA 19. Again, don't get me wrong, right? The manual defending is still somewhat there, but whatever the they've decided to do, man, has turned this game into like FIFA 19.1 or FIFA 17.4 with the ultra AI drop back cheese that happens in champs and in rivals. Life hack though. I spilled my coffee on our welcome mat. Okay? And our welcome mat's kind of like brown-ish. You know those cringy welcome mats, like welcome to our beautiful home that like inevitably your girlfriend or your wife's gonna buy, like my wife did. Yeah, beware of children. Like that's what ours says. Me, so cringe. So anyways, I just spilt it into that. It was like spilling everywhere, so I just ran towards the mat and then it all spilt into the mat. I'm not cleaning it up. No. It just kind of like just makes the mat more living and loving. Yeah, live, love, laugh. Wow, thank you, welcome Matt. Thank you so much for, I'm with my muddy dog on my shoes, and it's live, love, laugh. Sick, man. I feel really motivated. You know, you're leaving your house and you're like upset because you got to go to work or school, or if you're like me, you got to walk down your stairs into your office and play video games for a living. But anyways, you know, you're leaving your house, you're really upset because it's Monday and life kind of thing, you know, that everybody goes through on every day that they ever have to work. And then your welcome mat says, smile, this is your life. Dude, I will never forget this, ever, okay? Back when I was like working, you know, just working like any normal person, a 9 to 5 and shit like that. And we had like some renovations going on at our house. So we were, and that's why I said that quote. We were at Steph's parents for like 1 or 2 nights while like something was going on in the bathrooms. And I was like getting up at like 5 a.m., you know, to get in my car at 5:30 a.m. to drive all the way into downtown Vancouver for an hour of driving in traffic to then work at a job that was so unrewarding, paid really well, you know, which again, a lot of people are going to be stuck in jobs that pay well, but you're just like, what the f am I doing? I don't care about building a marketing strategy for this goddamn bricklaying company. I don't give a shit. Anyways, you know, and it was like 5:30 a.m., dude. I was sitting there and like Steph was like cozy in bed asleep. You know, I'm the only one in the house awake at 5:30 a.m. You know, I know Steph's parents are all cozy in their huge down bed. You know when you gotta get up early, but everybody else in your house is just so cozy and comfy. And I'm sitting there, like I'm in my like underwear. It's like freezing in the house. I'm sitting there trying to take a shit in the morning so I don't have to take a shit in traffic. And I look up at the like wall and they put up a new stencil that literally was smile, this is your life. And I was like, I want to take a jackhammer and smash that wall stencil piece of shit to bits. I don't want to smile. That you ever have that? Just think, anytime there's any type of motivational bullshit and you get really angry at it, don't worry, you're not a bad person. You're just a real person. And those Instagram accounts with the chicks with their tits out saying, guys, just chase life by the dovetails and go singing in the ocean. And you're sitting there on the train at 4 a.m. to go work 10 hours a day. Don't worry. Don't write anything in their comment section of Instagram because then that does make you a person. But don't worry if in your head you're like, you puta. You. In your head at 4 a.m. You're freezing cold. I've been there. It's fine. It's okay. And you know what? When I rage at a game of FIFA and I'm losing my I'm a little bit detached as well. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to pretend like I'm not. I'm a little bit detached. So when it's Friday and I go live really early in the morning, let's say you live in North America and for some godforsaken reason, you're maybe watching my stream while you're on a train to work or something like that. And I'm sitting there raging at FIFA. If in your head you think, F you, Nick. All right, I'm going to work. It's like 7 a.m. where I am. I'm going off to work. It's okay. You're allowed to. I feel you. I get it. I'm a piece of shit. But just don't type it in my chat. Okay? You don't have to do that. You don't have to put it in the comment section of my video. You don't have to tweet it at me. You don't have to put it in my Instagram messages. But 100% you're allowed to think that. It doesn't make you a bad person. I realize sometimes, no matter who it is in the world, we are assholes and we kind of forget our situation at times. So it's fine. All right? I've been exactly where you have been and probably where even a few people that are watching this content right this second are right now. You're probably either walking to a bus station, maybe you're in a train to go to college or school or work, maybe for some reason you're in a car and you're listening to this. I don't know. I've been there. I've been there for so many years. I love you. I'm assuming this will make some sort of content even on YouTube. Maybe the Rich Man account, you know, the epi for the day, this little spiel will make it in there, which of course means that it's going to be bleeped out because I swear endlessly and YouTube loves to demonetize it. So if I want to make any money and be able to pay all my editors and stuff like that on YouTube, we have to bleep out all the content, because genuinely every single episode this year of the Poor Man Road to Glory, even though YouTube runs ads on them, are demonetized. I have not made a cent off of the Poor Man Road to Glory series this year. Why? Because it's a 2 to 2.5 hour live recording of me saying 1,000 times. And YouTube's like, hey, by the way, your video's demonetized. We're still going to run ads on it, but you don't get anything from it. Nice. Okay. I have one thought to all the EA guys saying, here's a final thought on all the EA guys saying, hey, we hate how much abuse we get. Hey, we don't all work 24/7. Hey, we don't have people on the weekends that can communicate with everybody. Here is my thought. I'm going to quote tweet a message here. And in fact, I'm going to tweet it by myself, separately, okay? And I'm going to include you guys in it, of course. So here's my thoughts. My thoughts on all the EA employees getting abuse by the toxic internet, or not being available 24/7 to answer questions. Why not start an official EA wait, hold on. EA FUT comms Twitter account that all the EA community managers or employees have access to, and anytime there is a need for access to, so we can get updates all the time. Additionally, if the current EA comm guys don't work weekends or don't work nights or don't work 24/7, totally understandable. Why not hire a few extra members and train them up to comm via this new EA Twitter comm account for the weekends, which of course are the busiest time. I totally understand that the EA guys are getting abuse on Twitter. I totally understand that. That's fair. I'm not surprised in any way, shape, or form that EA guys get abusive messages and comments, because I know how much abusive messaging and comments I get on a daily basis. Number one. Number two, going this route, they can then take out the EA tags in their personal accounts. They can private their personal accounts, fully private them. Why do their personal accounts need to be public anyways, if they don't want the public domain to message them positive or negative things? They could private their accounts, and even within their privated accounts, their 60,000, 100,000 followers that they've gotten through publicly being EA guys, with their accounts being privated, you will start whittling out the toxicity. Even with a private account with 80,000 followers, 20,000 followers, 30,000 followers, 300,000 followers, anytime you get a toxic message, when you are now a private account, you know, personal account, you ban them, you block them. Done. If only EA had a massive account on Twitter that they could post updates on the game content. See, the thing is, the EA Sports FIFA account has always been a marketing account, though. You need to understand business. And the business side of things, Corey already has a private account. That doesn't count. The private account that he has is the one that he's claiming is the EA account, which has now been verified. He now has a verified private account with an EA tag on it. But that's the account, or anybody else that's saying that. Those are the accounts that we're talking about that they're saying are private accounts. I don't care about other private accounts. That's the account. Make that account private and create an EA comms account that we can all follow. Just like the EA Sports FIFA account is an account that I follow for the marketing side of things and the whatever, the gameplay side of things. That's the account I follow for that. Why can we all not as a community follow a comms account? Why don't they make a comms account? There's an EA help account. Why don't we have an EA comms account? Why don't we have an EA content account? Why don't we have an EA gameplay account? Now, EA and their employees can have separate accounts set up for the separate issues that they can have as much communication, hopefully, as they want without them worrying about their personal accounts being attacked and messaged and horribly set up. An EA Ultimate Team account for Ultimate Team news. Dude, what? Like, why is it that EA employees specifically are the ones that have to go about doing this? I know that the EA employees, and even some content creators, have access to the EA Sports FIFA account. Did you guys know that? A lot of the EA guys obviously have access, like, passwords so they can type from the EA account. But did you know that even some content creators had access to that? So anyways, that might be news to some people. So they do that already with the EA Sports FIFA account that has millions and millions of followers that they pretty much exclusively use for marketing. Why can't they do that? Why can't they do that? Hiring more employees from a business perspective might be too much of a cost, wage, benefits, etc. Bro, I understand that for a mom and pop shop that are making bread and they can't afford to hire 1 or 2 new employees to work the weekends to help them sell bread. But I'm sorry, I've got close to a master's in business, okay? And a $1 billion company, genuinely, that pulls quarterly profits in the quarters of billions of dollars off of FIFA Ultimate Team alone can afford 1 or 2 employees that work through the weekends or work in the evenings to manage accounts like this and communicate with their community that helps them earn said quarters of millions of dollars through Ultimate Team FIFA points every quarter. I get your thought process 100%, but for a company like that, it's not an excuse. I'm sorry, it's just not an excuse. It's not an excuse. Official comms admitting errors is bad for business. That's why they never do it on the main account. No accountability is best for them. Again, I don't disagree with that thought process. A lot of people, even maybe EA guys, would say here, yeah, but dude, these comms that you want from us need to go through 10 legal teams before they can be published. So I'm not saying specifically EA tweeting, hey guys, we realize there's button delay in the game and it's a mess and we're gonna fix it. I'm not asking for comms like that. Or, hey guys, we know we essentially scammed you out of your coins because One to Watch Promise costs an extra 30,000 coins and you got rewarded the regular Promise. Let us fix it. I understand that they won't do stuff like that. That's fine. That side of the business, I understand. But a gameplay comms setup of just purely saying we're looking at connectivity issues, or even again for the legal side of things, we're looking at connectivity and potential being has to be the word, right? For legal reasons, you can't admit fault. So we're looking at potential connectivity issues from a comms team. Boom. Or content. Mainly the community reaction and issues, I think, is from a content perspective. Hey guys, understanding the questions regarding content, stay tuned in 3 days. There will be new content. Stay tuned tomorrow. There will be some extra content. That is the level of content and replies and responses and thoughts that I'm asking from EA. I'm not asking them to break legal and processing terms. One thing I request from my community and everybody else in the community is be respectful, guys. Okay? Let's have an open forum, an open discussion. Some of these replies I'm seeing, okay, you want to be an abusive asshole towards me. I'm seeing a lot of toxic replies targeted at me here. whatever. Do you? But again, if you guys want to see things improve, you really got to try and be as respectful as you can with people, man. You really do. And just being idiots online or even in my chat, it's not going to get anything fixed, man. So I'm trying to be as respectful as possible. I made a point of not atting, even in my discussions, stuff that's going to make YouTube content and videos today and tomorrow. I never named outright a person at EA working because I don't want people to go attack those employees at EA. I'm trying to be as respectful as possible. I'm just trying to think, is there any other points? Having worked even in a smaller international company, the disconnect between different layers of the company can be so serious that it's near impossible to get things done for lower layers. If higher ups at EA don't want to communicate more, I don't see it happening until FUT profits start taking serious hits. But see, again, the point is, we're not discussing that, Mystigo. Right now, we're discussing, and this is key here for people that think like that, and you're not wrong, that thought process is very accurate. I think legally as well, EA just can't push out constant updates without going through 10 layers of legal teams to approve these discussions or these talking points on the internet. But we are discussing right now EA employees that have built a massive following of all of us based on the fact that they are EA employees and they are the EA community communication guys, or they are the EA community content guys. So we have these established understandings and relationships with these guys that now they don't like that established relationship with all of us because they're getting unnecessary abuse, which again, I guess at the end of the day is understandable and fair for them to be annoyed by that. But that is the discussion. I am now trying to come up with a reason or a system that removes all the EA guys and their personal accounts and their personal social media accounts from blowing up in followers, but also blowing up in toxicity, and coming up with an idea where we can still get those guys giving us the content and the communications that they promised us last year and the year before when we all started following them. And it removes their personal accounts and the abuse that they will suffer from that and replaces it with a one-stop shop or a Twitter account for communication with EA that is an EA communication Twitter, so that Corey or anybody else can just log into that. Hey guys, here it is. And they can put it out to the internet, and the mentions are going to be horrendous anyways. At least it's not them that's being attacked. Nobody knows what specific person is commenting in that regard. Just like there's an EA help, just like there's an EA access account, just like there's an EA Sports FIFA account. They need to come up with a couple more accounts. EA FUT content, verified account. EA FUT gameplay, verified account. EA FUT communications, verified account. Let's stop beating around the bush and let's start understanding that FIFA Ultimate Team is the bread and butter for all and most people that give a shit about FIFA, and is the bread and butter for all and most of the high execs at EA, because it is also the bread and butter for all of the earnings for EA, period. So it's 2019, almost 2020. No longer can we all say, oh, but there's an EA Sports FIFA account that posts marketing for Volta, marketing for FUT, marketing for pro clubs, haha, lol, and marketing for career mode, haha, lol. That's what killed other EA community managers. I don't have a great relationship with the ex-EA community managers from 2013, 2014, and 2015 that took great liberties in growing a huge social following back then from the community. From the FIFA community that understood them as community managers. And then those community managers went and chased clout to get huge followings from a bunch of the community. Those same community managers took great pride and joy on me, on a bunch of other content creators. I remember certain EA community managers would literally take massive shots at YouTubers and streamers that had fun reactions for pack openings, YouTubers and streamers that had coin accounts. That's fair, whatever. But then now that those community managers aren't working for EA anymore and have now taken their social following into them being content creators, now all pretend to be best friends with those same people that in 2013, 2014, and 2015, they took great joy in on all of them. So I don't have the best relationship with ex-EA guys or with guys, community managers at EA back in the early days, because they took their employee status at EA and absolutely capitalized on it in terms of the overall FIFA community in the wrong way, I think. But we've had that discussion a million times over, so that doesn't need to be mentioned again and again and again and again. So I think it's now to the point where we got to come up with a solution so that the community can get updates, as we have been getting updates, but the community can get updates from official EA accounts and not personal EA employee accounts, period. That's it. I don't agree that any EA employee right now gets toxic, horrible abuse based off of something that's wrong with FIFA. That's wrong. That's wrong. But we got to paint that brush across all lines. And I would say at the same time, EA employees taking all the good from being an EA employee online and all the social benefits from it, but not wanting some of the negatives, that's also a little bit of a yikes. So I repeat, the best way to solve that is to privatize all these EA employee accounts. They private their own accounts. They remove all the EA advertisement of stuff from their social accounts, if that's what they want. You know, they then private their accounts so people can't abuse them. And we go to a 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 Twitter accounts officially recognized and run by EA and those same employees. Again, whoever it is, whether it's Tom or Corey or Fun Economist or whoever, they're still the guys behind all of it, for sure. Oh, and yeah, we can just ban those people, by the way. Anybody being toxic in the chat, that's trying to think they're being funny, I know they're my subs, ban them. Don't want them here. Like, straight up. In fact, let me just go through and ban them all myself. Because like I said, my community, you are never welcome to be a toxic bag person in my channel towards other EA employees or other content creators. I don't care if other EA employees have disrespected me my entire career. I'm a big boy. I can deal with it on my own. I don't care if other content creators have spent their entire career disrespecting me and being a pieces of shit towards me. I'm a big boy. I can deal with it on my own. I don't need you guys being idiots in the chat. So that's my final thoughts on all of it, dudes. I don't really know if there's anything else to say too much. I think we're just going to be repeating ourselves over and over again here. Hopefully some of this content can be pushed towards the video for today. I think there's a lot of important information that's in here. Definitely. That is good to be discussed. But I outside of what we've covered, I don't know where we go from here, man. FIFA 20 is in a very disappointing spot. Very, very disappointing spot, man. Gameplay was a nice improvement and a change, but is in a very bad spot right now with the delay in the servers. And still some major issues within gameplay. Drop back being as overpowered as it is has basically brought back AI defending. Definitely. That's a big problem. Content-wise, very, very disappointing this year, I would say. Pack weight, I mean, I guess that's not a surprise to anybody, but very, very horrendous this year. Content and daily updates is very, very horrendous. Now, outside of the things that we've discussed, though, I don't know if there's anything else to talk about, bros. I obviously don't agree with the hate they get. Well, Tehi, nobody should agree with hate anybody gets. It's just not right. It's wrong on many levels, but I'm not going to name these people because I don't want them to get more hate online than they get already. But anyways, these EA employees do nothing with community involvement. To get pissed off on threads doesn't mean anything when they don't reply to the majority who don't abuse them and just want feedback from the game. The amount they overhype the effort put into pitch notes is laughable. I generally wrote more, but had to actually research them in one of my uni essays worth a minuscule portion of my degree. That's a yikes, but that's facts. That's straight facts right there, my dude. I agree. I agree very, very much. I agree very much with everything you wrote just there, my dude. And another thing I think that I've tried to do, and maybe this is something that the EA guys could take on themselves, not that I think they watch my content really very much, but one thing that the EA guys could take on, which I've tried to do more and will continue to do, is when you get a positive, thought-provoking question, all you got to do is quote tweet it and reply to it. You're replying to that person that took their time to write you an intelligent message while also informing the community in one shape or form. Now, again, maybe they have to get some sort of an answer and an understanding in some way and an approval from the higher ups at EA to answer certain questions. So I understand that, but they could do that. They very well could just do that. And guess what? The EA guys are well within their right, as am I, as are you, to block any horrible messages from people. Literally block them. There's no rules. They can do whatever they want. You block the terrible messages that come your way. Guess what? Within a couple of weeks, your mentions aren't so terrible. Number two, you start quote tweeting and replying the thought-provoking or intelligent or polite questions with likewise answers. And guess what? Surprise, surprise, your mentions actually start getting a little bit better and a little bit more thought-provoking. Once again, I understand that they can't answer every single question every single day. But that would be a good way to go about things.
It's too bad the way FIFA 20 content is panning out this year, but gonna keep playing anyway.
They'll right the ship. They'll right the ship. EA will right the ship. And this is the one, okay. This is the one thing I know is gonna happen very soon, and it's gonna piss me off. A little bit. I won't tweet about it, I won't talk about it, but here's the one thing that I really don't like that I've noticed over the last couple of years that no content creator is really willing to call out. Because again, I think they're just scared to ruffle too many feathers. For all the content creators out there, game changers out there, EA employees out there that are radio silent during the worst possible times of this game, and also turn their nose up to the community and to the content creators that are vocal and asking for change and getting abuse because they're not fun and happy-go-lucky and just opening packs and shutting up about it. To those people that go radio silent in these moments, when the game is at its worst, wait, because this happened over the last 3-4 years, wait for those content creators, game changers, or EA employees, because it's a broad thing. Wait for when something comes out that is good, wait for the praise, and wait for the see, look at what we're doing, this is amazing, we're listening, this is the best, look at how amazing this game is. And that is another thing that I don't like. When things are bad, you should be willing to get criticism and take criticism, admit that things aren't great, and push for them to be better. So that when things are good, it doesn't look so empty and hollow when you take praise for things being good. Am I right or am I wrong? Because that is something that I noticed over the last few years from content creators or game changers or even EA employees, is things are quiet when it's horrible, but when something is great and fantastic, all of a sudden we see all this social media activity and everything is so fantastic and look at what we're doing. And we need to be present and vocal in the bad and in the good. And that's again what I think a lot of content creators and a lot of community members and a lot of EA employees, because there's some EA employees that don't get a lot of credit, that are there in the worst times. Unfortunately, they don't post a lot publicly to Twitter, but God bless some of the gameplay guys that I talk to on a daily basis from EA. You guys are the real goats. All right, and some of the content guys, some of the comms guys that aren't willing to post publicly, but are pushing for better. So again, we want to call facts on the things that we see publicly that aren't good. I got to call facts and praise on the guys that do it on the down low that are trying to make the game better. But you got to be here in all the times. You gotta. I want this community to go through this together. Game changers, guys that are hated by EA, content creator wise, EA employees, the community. I want us to be ride or die as a full community together when the game sucks ass like this, and then when the game is good. Because that is how this FIFA community is going to grow and get better and constantly be working within itself as one unit. The way EA have built this with game changers, dear God, I've been watching too much Kurt. I almost said game destroyers. And I've got lots of friends that are game changers with EA, so that wouldn't be fair for me to say at all. I got nothing but respect for a lot of the guys that are game changers, and they don't deserve the abuse. Jesus Christ. I almost said it. Thank God I didn't. Just almost, just happened. Anyways, from all the game changers out there and all the guys that are blacklisted from EA and all the community and everybody, we need to do, I hate that EA have made it so that there's different teams. You know, the guys that are promoted by EA, the guys that are game changers, and then the guys that are disliked by EA, and then kind of very similar to the community. The casual community that seems to think EA can do no wrong, and then the hardcore community that knows what's going on and what is done wrong and what is done right. And there's just this like separate bridge that EA have created themselves. They have purposely made it like that. It's so unfortunate that we can't all be a community that ride or die together, man. In the best times and the worst times of the game, we're all in one, you know, we're all pulling that cinder block that is EA Sports, FIFA, up a hill all together. All the content guys, big or small, all the game changer guys, big or small, all the EA employees, all the Reddit forum, FIFA community members, all ride or dying together to try and make this game better. It's just, I just feel like it's been too many years of EA kind of enjoying making teams, us versus them, in every sense of the community. And I just wish we could get past that, man. I wish we could get past that. For some reason, and maybe it's because it's been a couple of months now where I've been disconnected from the Fortnite community, you're going to get it in every community, us versus them mentality, right? Some people that think the game's dog shit, and content creators, the people that think the game's dog shit that they like. And then some guys that are working with Fortnite that will say the game is good, and then people that say the game is good. You're always going to have that separation. But I do feel like Fortnite do a much better job of trying to keep the community as a whole together, happy or unhappy, because the mechs and stuff like that made everybody hate the game as a unified community overall. You know, in certain instances when the game is good in Fortnite, kind of everybody thinks the game is good, and whether you're working with Fortnite or you're not. And I don't know why EA has this petty or egotistical way of going about things where they need to further bridge the gap of us versus them type of thing. They even do it to pros, man. The pros are the ones that get screwed the most and deserve the most support out of everybody. All the dudes grinding this game right now, you got pros fisting themselves in Division 1 trying to prepare for the first upcoming tournaments, man. And they get no respect. Zero. And no financial gain either. I will say this as well. This rich man account, and here's another just as a quick thought, for my career, and I know this has been the first time in about 4 years that I've had a rich man account. I've run a poor man account with no FIFA points and stuff for the last 3, 4, 5 years. So this is the first year I wanted to like be lavish and splurge. I gotta be honest, man. This might be the last year as well. First year in a long time we go rich man. It might be the last year. I think for 21 and onwards, I think we're going poor man. Now, it's still going to be poor man where I dump infinite time into the game and all of that good stuff. But I think it's going to be poor man. Because at the end of the day, it's just all pointless. You know, guys, we're all just a bunch of freaking pieces of meat floating around a rock, floating around a ball of fire. You know, doesn't matter. I'm so connected and in love with the poor man's struggle that as much as I love this account because it's a flashy account, and obviously we finished Elite this week on this account, as much as I love this account, don't get me wrong, I'm really looking forward to using this account all year because I enjoy competing unbelievably. At least right now, I enjoy trying to do well in champs. Did you guys hear that? Just as I talk about us being balls of meat floating around a rock. I think it's the end of days outside, dude. Holy. Oh, it's like thundering like crazy, dude. Oh, guys, I love everybody. I'm sorry, bros. It's the end of days in Vancouver, Canada, at least. Good God. Ay. All right. Well, if Vancouver sinks into the ocean, who wants my FUD account, dudes? But you gotta do your job good, no? Or what's the point? Yeah, okay. Well, you're totally missing what I'm saying as well. See, that's the unfortunate thing, man, is I feel like we take these discussions, these deep dive discussions, we take them one way, and people just misinterpret or completely misunderstand or miss the point of most of the things I'm talking about. I think your disagreement with what I'm saying is you're making my point. That's exactly why you don't see some of these longtime EA guys just coming out and saying certain things that are wrong or bad. Because as much as they want the game to be better, they're just trying to do their job good. That's the point. And they are doing their job good. That's why they've been working at EA for over a decade. I don't think people understand how horrifyingly I mean, EA hate my guts as it is, right? I don't think people understand how horrifyingly cutthroat EA Sports or EA is as a corporation and as an organization. I have friends, family, myself have turned down a job at EA way before I became a content creator. But I have friends and family that have genuinely been grinded their nuts off on salary with EA for whatever income that is way too low for the work that they do. 6 years, 7 years on salary with EA, grinding, killing themselves, helping the EA big guys earn millions, and then the next year that their contract is up, just being sent home. See ya. Thank you for 6 years of earning us billions. We're going to hire in the new blood of young college students that are willing to take your job for half the price. We'll have them for a couple years, fire them, bring them in. So again, I don't think people understand the actual stress it is to work for EA. And on top of that, to be working for them for 10 plus years. There's a lot to be commended to the guys that are at EA long term, man. Because that is a very cutthroat company. You're not pulling the company line, you're not towing the company line, see ya. And even if you are, but you earn too much money, you've been at EA for a long time, see ya. Thank you for 10 years of working on FUT and creating half of all that is good in FUT, see ya. We'll hire a guy that takes a quarter of what you make and probably will be willing to work 5 times as much. That description right there is basically the entire gaming world. That's just how the ugly truth is of the gaming world that I've seen back when I worked in marketing and stuff in my day. But so hopefully all of this ties together. That's another yeah as well for our Malika. But I'm hoping all of this ties together in one good topic. But I mean, even when I talk about this, I do want you guys to know I'm not the only one. You know that, right? Like, there are so many other guys out there, dude, that talk sense. Content creators that are game changers. Like Marshall. I know Marshall. I think Marshall still likes me and stuff like that and whatever, right? Hopefully the outside world or the majority of game changers or maybe EA guys that don't like me hasn't influenced people that I respect a lot and love a lot. Like Marshall is a guy that I love and respect a massive amount. So I think that's the other issue that we deal with right now is there is a lot wrong in the Game Changer network. There's a lot wrong in the EA FIFA structure, employee structure, and otherwise, but there is a lot good, dudes. I know a lot of these guys that are game changers that do a lot of work, man. And a lot of these game changers go into the Discords and send messages.
Would benefit greatly from unionizing.
Sure, maybe. Unions have their issues as well, man. That's patching holes, you know, in a pool with bubblegum. But anyways, there's a lot of good in the Game Changer network and stuff there, and I think it all gets lost in translation. I know personally that a lot of these Game Changer guys are still to this day on a daily basis messaging in the Discords that EA have for Game Changers, getting a hold of their representatives at EA of issues of the game. And unfortunately, these Game Changers that are all doing their hard work and not just chugging down the silver spoon that EA feeds them, right, as a Game Changer, being invited to events and stuff like that. Guys that maybe still go to events, but do all of the hard work that everybody else is championing for, right? And they do it into an empty void. I'm not going to name names again, but I know plenty of Game Changers that have given up on being a Game Changer because they're constantly talking into an empty void. They have no communication from EA or any of the EA employees that they're meant to have communication with. A lot of the times, a lot of the Game Changers, I think there's a couple of clips, so I think Game Changers are now publicly speaking about this right now. Christian Eriksen, Jesus. But I think a lot of Game Changers, at least on the down low, and I think now more so publicly, but have said that they felt very oftentimes like more a marketing team for EA than Game Changers. So again, probably EA's fault for mistitling that community. They shouldn't be called Game Changers. Maybe they should be called EA Game Influencers or EA Game Marketing guys. Or I think the name Game Changer is unfair on a lot of the guys that are in the Game Changer network that want to change the game, but they're not in there to change the game according to EA. Does that make sense, dudes? Like, am I making much sense? So that's the one thing that I feel really, really bad about for a lot of the guys that I know that are content creators in the Game Changer Network is they're screwed. They want as much change as myself or NEP or Run the FUT Market or R9 Rye or anybody else does that aren't game changers, that are disliked by EA, right? Let's, again, reiterate that. There's guys in the Game Changer Network that are trying to call for changes just as much as I am, and they're in an even worse position than me because those game changers are in that network, okay? So they get hate from everybody in the community because they're a game changer. They get all the benefits in the world, right? And they're doing as much as I am trying to do to change the game to nobody. They're literally complaining and raising viable change and asking for change into all the avenues, all the forums, all the discords, everywhere, to nobody. They're getting no responses at all. So at least for me, I know where I stand. I know EA don't like me. So be it. So be it. And I can be with my community, and I can be happy that what I've built on this platform within FIFA has been through my own hard work. That's it. No spoon feeding from EA, no over advertisement from EA. In fact, the opposite. No advertisement ever from EA. So I can be happy about that. I almost think I'm luckier than a lot of the guys in the Game Changer Network, because they get hate from everybody in the community, and all those poor guys are trying to do, the good game changers, of course, is what I'm talking about. The Marshalls, I can't even think of game changers right now. Yeah, everybody, MGH, like, all the Chesnoid, all the career mode guys that are asking for change. Those poor guys are trying to push for change and getting nothing. Nothing. Reeve, yeah, exactly. Thank you. Yeah, you guys can name them all, right? Mav, all those dudes that are in the Game Changer Network and seeing nothing in return. And I feel bad. I do. I'm a little bit nervous. And you want to know why I'm a little bit nervous? I'm a little bit nervous because I feel like EA are going to f it all up. Now, again, that might be me being toxic. That might be me being a man-child. But I really think EA have gone very money hungry this year. That's why they got rid of the League SBCs. That's why they've gotten rid of the Icon SBCs. I feel like the FUT swaps for the icons are going to be EA dictating how long it takes and when you can achieve the icons you want, number one. Number two, not only will it be FUT icon swaps, and you can ship this, write this, confirm this for the icon swaps, I also am concerned that EA will not only make the objectives, like the certain icon objectives, so hard to do, which is fine. I think grinding for icons should be something that we all have to do and put time into. I think, just like they did with FUT swaps last year, this section here is where they recuperate your coins and really rock you out. I think the icon tokens that they release will be similar in price to the cost of like an icon for the icon SBCs. Does that make sense? So I don't think the FUT icon swap tokens are going to be like the FUT swap tokens of last year, where it was 10 or 20k to do them, which, if you paid attention to FUT swaps last year, that was a very cheeky way of rinsing coins out of your club and time to get FUT swaps. People ignored the fact that you had to do like 4 or 5 SBCs for tokens, which cost you like 100 to 200k by the end of it, to get yourself a FUT swap Fabinho or whatever it was, right? Which were the good ones. Some of the ones, you spend like 100 to 200k and an entire month grinding for a bang average FUT swap. I think they're going to do that again for the icons. And that is a bit concerning to me. Oh, dude, for the Road to Glory, I want Rio. I'm getting Rio. Are you kidding me? Of course. To have a center back on the poor man account that I never have to change out till maybe team of the season, that's what's up. That's what's up. I don't look at any of those icon swaps attackers and think, damn, that's a card that will be in my team all year. Zanetti is another one. Rude, I think, is another good call. I think Zanetti is a great one. Drogba, I'm sorry to say, dudes, will not be in your guys' endgame teams. I don't care who you are. Balak's baby card will not be in your endgame team by the end of the year. I don't care what account you run. Roy Keane will not be in your... Well, maybe will be your holding DM as your endgame. I think endgame icons here, if you want to future plan, Let me find, goddamn, how am I gonna, where's FUT Economist? Where's Jamie's tweet about it? All right. So for me, in terms of end game players for this first icon swap starting this Friday, end game players are, maybe I'll miss a couple here. Rio Ferdinand, Zanetti, maybe Roberto Carlos because crossing doesn't mean anything. Roy Keane, maybe as a holding DM. Maybe Kasper Schmeichel's baby card or whatever, but I don't even think so. I don't think Pirlo's that Pirlo card specifically, I do not think is an endgame card. I really don't see that. I don't see Nesta being an endgame card. By team of the year and team of the season, every attacker is going to have 1,000 pace. You're going to need the extra pace. Again, Balak, I don't see being an endgame card. CVG, I don't see being an endgame card. Costa the Donkey, I don't see being an endgame card. To me, the reality of, for all of us, that our future planning for our endgame road to glories, there's only like 2 or 3 there for me that are endgame, man. I was gonna only say Ferdinand and Zanetti, but you guys have made the argument that Roberto Carlos and Roy Keane could be considered endgame players. And I would agree there. But that's about it, man. Rio is an endgame. Rio's card is as close to endgame as you're going to get. We're talking about these cards. If you really wanted to be specific here, none of these cards are endgame. None of these cards are endgame. Period. If you wanted to be 100% accurate, that Rio card will be overshadowed by pretty much every team of the season. The Zanetti will be overshadowed by 30 right backs by team of the season. Keane will be overshadowed by 100 different DMs by the end of the season. And Roberto Carlos will be overshadowed by 25 left backs by team of the season. So realistically, even the ones I've said are endgame are not endgame. I'm saying out of these icons, those are the only ones I would even consider for endgame. That's me though. What I love is you guys all disagree. A lot of you guys saying, no, Sanchez is endgame. No, Drogba's endgame. No, Pirlo is endgame. No, the Donkey Costa's endgame. That's fine. You know, we're all allowed to think different. I would say, at a stretch, the 4 I mentioned are endgame.
Would you suggest getting right for the fact he's one of my fave players?
Yes.
Or should I go with what would work for endgame?
No, go for your favorite player. Again, I'm telling you guys, I think Rio Ferdinand is going to be one of the endgame players, but also giving you the explanation that I love Rio Ferdinand. For me, it's a bit of both. So if you're a big fan of Didier Drogba, then I don't care. Ignore everything I say or every other content creator says. If you're a huge fan of Didier Drogba, go get him. Because you know what? He might not be a Cristiano Ronaldo in your team. He might not be a Neymar in your team. But when you score with Drogba and you beat that batch like me that has this team, and you can run to the corner if you want to celebrate, live your life with Drogba, and he's looking into the sky there, that brings back your childhood memories of loving Drogba, do it. Do it. Please do it. Please. That's why, even though Dino is nowhere near as good as he should be this year, at least the 91, that Dino is still in this squad. Because I love Ronaldinho. Genuinely. That's it. Normally, I think I would have already changed to a Eusebio, or maybe changed over to like an Mbappe. I can fit Mbappe in this team, no problem. I'm just keeping Dino because you guys know, he's my second favorite player of all goddamn time. Of course I'm going to keep him in my team. So, highly recommend, listen to the things I say in terms of the icon stuff and whatever, but the key here is that you guys absolutely try and have fun with this game. You want to compete in FUT and compete with the meta and whatever, that's cool too. I totally understand. But if Ian Wright, like for NEP, is like one of your favorite all-time players, you love the guy, get him for your team, man. Get him for your team. It'll actually make you really appreciate the game a lot more. I promise. I promise. There's no better feeling for me, even on this rich man account, than scoring with Ronaldinho. Even though Dino scores like 1 in 30 for me, whereas Leo Messi scores like 5 goals a game, Ronaldo scores like 2 or 3 goals a game. There's no better feeling than scoring with Ronaldinho. And very similarly, even on my poor man account, there's nothing more satisfying right now than scoring with Perisic at striker, or scoring with Milinkovic-Savic as my Ruud Gullit, because I just love both those players. They're just sick players. Could I be doing better right now on my poor man account with any of my teams? Absolutely. but having that attachment to some of your FUT players makes going through the hell of gameplay even more enjoyable. Mic drop.